We are online now.
Okay. Guys, hello everybody. Good evening or good afternoon. I'm Professor Laif Raywan, and I'm from Abu Dhabi University. I'm a professor of biomedical engineering, and actually my area is artificial intelligence in medicine. This is what I work for. But before we start showing to you like what's artificial intelligence, what's the role of artificial intelligence, I just want to know what's your background. Like anybody can tell me, like Amna, since you are the first one to join, can you tell us what's your background? Amna, do you hear me? Abdullah Majid? Okay, so guys, I will start now, and apparently some people don't like to talk, maybe they like to listen. Now, I will just subdivide my presentation in the next half an hour, and I'm going, okay, to tell you the story of artificial intelligence in medicine and what's going to happen in the next or in the near future, or already even started. Now, the way I'm going to outline this lecture, the first thing is I want to talk about what's artificial intelligence and what are the technologies, what are the terminologies that everybody will use and we see a lot once we read on artificial intelligence. Then I will take you as a tour or an insight how AI or artificial intelligence is used to support clinical practices. It means that how is that going to affect what's happening in the hospital or any healthcare facility. Also, I'm going to talk about biomedical engineering at Abu Dhabi University and where did we integrate the artificial intelligence in our program. Guys, at any moment, if you have a question, please let me know so we can stop and answer your question, or if you have a comment or you want extra knowledge about a certain point. Now, let me first start with defining artificial intelligence. And it's always the abbreviation for it, it's AI, which can be defined as a machine that simulates aspects of learning or any other feature of human intelligence. Okay, so we want to simulate our intelligence. We want something as intelligent as us as we are human. And there is a reason why we want to do that, as we are going to see later. Also, some people or Google even will define it as the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks normally require human intelligence. So there is kind of intelligence. Also should be able to pass something called the Turing Test. I think some of you, if they saw the movie Enigma, anybody saw it? No? Did you hear about Alan Turing? The one who helped Britain to win the Second World War against Germany. Anyways, Turing is a guy, Alan Turing, Who was the first one to use the word artificial intelligence to solve the enigma, the puzzle of the human or the German code for communication? So we have something called the Turing Test, okay, to test our system, what is it's an artificial intelligence or not, or does it satisfy the complete conditions of artificial intelligence. Now, AI is quite a huge field, okay, and originally AI is considered part of the computer science, but it's not now exclusive to computer science field. It is overlapping with many, many fields, and it's overlapping with the medical field now, and everybody probably AI will affect our lives in the near future, and even in the currently is being used in many things. I'll give you some examples as we move along. Now, when we say artificial intelligence, we have many fields. The first field that I'm currently myself working on is called machine learning. How we can make the machine learn to do things that a human does, okay, or humans do. So we will see something, or you will hear the word something called deep learning. You will hear something called supervised learning, unsupervised learning. And these are all technical terms, and they are a complete science that, or a complete topic that everybody uses. Also, we have something called natural language processing. Okay, it uses artificial intelligence. It is used, as you can see it, or even Google use it. We use it for translation, for question answering, and for text generation. This is called natural language processing. It's a kind of artificial intelligence. We have it in our computers. We have it, some of it, or some teachers, we have it in our even phones. We have something called expert systems to make some decisions. We have some vision, image recognition, or machine vision. They use it in robots to detect like certain images. They use it like by the police. If you have a wanted person, you are checking his passport, you are checking his photo, you have to compare it. I don't know how many, we have 8 billion people on the on Earth. So we have to compare it, and a system has to compare it, and it has to use artificial intelligence to compare. Also, we have speech recognition. This is where you convert your speech to text and your text to speech. Now, if you go and do Acrobat Reader, if you buy the professional version, it will read the text for you. It will read the book for you. This is speech to text, or text to speech, okay? So sometimes you just start talking and it will write whatever you are talking about. Also, artificial intelligence, it is used in planning, okay? It's used also in robotics. So it's quite a broad field. It includes a lot of things, but definitely we will concentrate on what's related, or what's called in, what's the role in medicine. Okay, so I'll see, or I'll talk about in medicine or in healthcare. Now in healthcare, guys, we have a kind of a partnership, okay? And the purpose of this partnership or AI is we want to improve the healthcare facility capabilities. So how is going to help us, or help doctors or nurses or administrative people of delivering better healthcare services? Now, the first thing and the big problem, as we are going to see later on, ladies or guys, is the amount of data we have. Now, if you collect data, you will collect huge data, so that if you want to study it as a person or look into a person, there is no way to do it. As an example, when I told you, like on the airport, if you want to compare an image of a person with like 8 billion people, if someone wants to look to the images of 8 billion people or photographs of 8 billion people, that's quite a long. So it's not an easy task. So we have a big data, and we have to handle the big data. And to handle the big data, we need artificial intelligence. We need a machine that will mimic the humans and make decisions for us. Also, we have to support evidence-based decision-making and improving the quality and the safety and efficiency of coordinate healthcare and foster communications. We want to improve the patient experience and outcomes, deliver value and reduce cost, improve health system performance and optimization. I'll illustrate this how we do it by examples. Now, the partnership between human and machine, again, I said it's a partnership. It's not what we call a competition. Okay, it's a partnership. It's not a competition, definitely. Now we are talking about a man and a machine. We have something called AI-powered automation. Okay, we have an automated system powered by an artificial intelligence system. What we are talking about? We are talking about medical robotics, surgical robots, rehabilitation robots, smart pills, dispensers. Okay, we use some kind of machine learning for diagnosis. We use natural language processing. That is an AI-powered automation. While if as a man or as a humans, we have to worry about the quality of the services, the experience, the outcomes, the efficiency, the productivity, and all these things. Also at the end, the most important part, probably everybody will be talking about controlling the costs. Now, according to HBR.org, they said that the current potential for 10 applications for AI in healthcare with huge budget is, the first one is the robotic surgery. Okay, and the budget expected, the market share in 2006 will be around $40 billion worldwide. Okay, then we have virtual nursing assistants. Now, it seems that you will not have a nurse, you will have a kind of an automated system, an AI system that will help you, as the nurse will help you, unless you want the nurse to come to you and do something. Also, we have administrative workflow. Okay, it means the workflow, instead of waiting, probably, let's say yesterday I went for my sons for an eye test. We waited for almost like 90 minutes in one of the best hospitals in Abu Dhabi. And for me, I can see there is a problem of workflow management. But if we are using AI, we can, okay, let's say we can predict how many patients we will have today. We can predict what kind of patients. So we have a kind of a decision or an AI system. I will not say it does not have errors and it will be the perfect system, but it will help to organize the workflow and will reduce the, let's say, the time that the patients will spend inside the hospital. Fraud detection, those error reductions, okay, it means a lot of errors will happen with dosage. Example, if we have like an automated system, we'll check the dose before you deliver it. That's also good. That's an AI system. We may have some connected machines, okay, like all the machines now. If you go, I'll give a good example. If you go to MediClinic now, I saw them working on connecting all the machines all together, and they are collecting data on the system, okay, or on a cloud. We can have a clear clinical trial participation. The one we saw it with COVID, it's like 13 billion expected. Automated image diagnosis. If you have an image, an X-ray, it will tell you what's wrong with this, okay, without the need or without the help of a doctor. Also, we have patient security or information security, or what we call cyber security, $2 billion. So guys, AI is there. It's already there. There is nothing we can argue about. The question is how far we are going to go with AI and how AI can help us on healthcare. Okay, the current AI technologies that myself, I saw, the first thing is medical robotics. Okay, we worked in medical robotics like surgical tools, rehabilitation robots, smart pill dispenser, senior robotic companies with companion, Like old people, maybe you want to have a robot that will help him. Like blind people, maybe you have a robot with them. So a lot of things that can be done with robotics. We have something with machine learning, or what we call deep learning. We have natural language processing, and we have AI voice technologies. These are the things that on healthcare. Now, as my field is related to something called machine learning, if you go to Google Dictionary and try to look for what the word machine learning says or means, it's like, let me just read it word by word for you. Machine learning is a program, a software, or a system that builds and trains predictive model from input data. It means you have to build something. The system then uses learned model to make useful prediction for a new, never before seen data drawn from the same distribution as the one used to train the data model. Now, in machine learning, we have something called supervised learning. It means you have your input data and you know your output. This is called supervised learning. Then you build your system so that this input will produce this output. That is machine learning. Then you bring another test. So the machine didn't, or the system didn't see it before, and try to test it. Did we get what we expected to get accurately? Okay, so we have to do that. We have something called unsupervised learning. It means that we don't predict, we just group the subjects or the data or our input data into groups, okay, and see how the groups, what features they share together. We have also semi-supervised learning. We have reinforcement learning. Machine learning has too many things, guys, and I will give you kind of examples. And this is the first example I can show to you. Probably a lot of us heard about neurodegenerative diseases that affects old people and even young people now. As an example, the Parkinson disease. The Parkinson disease is something called a neurodegenerative disease, where our neural system, it's not healthy anymore, and it starts affecting our movement in general. Sometimes we lose control, sometimes we have another problem, we cannot walk, we cannot control our hands, and all these things. Now, how we built a system, a machine learning system. The machine learning will analyze the movement of the patient. Now, guys, let me tell you what's the problem with the neurodegenerative disease. Here, we have 3 diseases. The first one is called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. That is something that patients may have. We have something Parkinson disease, and we have something called Huntington's disease. Now, if you go to the doctor, believe it or not, most of the doctors, it's not easy to recognize between these 3 diseases. An expert doctor in neuro, or an expert in neurologist, now the con here is the control, that's a healthy person, okay? What the doctor will ask the patient, go and walk, and he will start looking the way he's walking. And by experience, he will tell that the patient whether is he healthy, or he has ALS or Parkinson or Huntington disease. Now for us, we collected the data from patients, okay? We call it gait data. Gait data represents the pattern of your walk, the patient walk. Then we collected for ALS, we collected for Parkinson, we collected for patients who have Huntington disease, and we also brought healthy subjects and we asked them to walk. We collected the data. We collected it from the left foot and from the right foot sensors. Then we did something called data segmentation. Then we start analyzing the data so that we can separate from this data, we can determine whether this is ALS or Parkinson or Huntington or a control. And it's like a machine learning algorithm, what we call it a classification. And from the classification, we will test whether our system can discriminate or can separate these subjects. Is this a control? Is ALS? This is Parkinson? Is this Huntington disease? Or something like this. This is something we did here, or we are currently working here in Abu Dhabi University. Also, this is another example. We are currently working with Jordan University of Science and Technology, or where King Abdullah Hospital is located. Okay, we have probably everybody know the stethoscope that the doctor has. سماعة الطبيب. It collects a lot of information. It can tell you, okay, whether your lungs are normal, if you have asthma, if you have heart failure, pneumonia, a COPD, or any kind of disorder. So we did the same thing as we did with the neurodegenerative disease, okay? And we built a system it will tell you which disease you have automatically when you put the stethoscope on the chest at certain locations. Because we found that although you collect a lot of sounds, the part of the sound that you can hear is very little compared to what the stethoscope or the device will capture. So although the sound is there, but probably you cannot hear it because it's a very low frequency. So this is another system that we built, as it's an example of machine learning. Okay, now Harvard University, one of the biggest or probably #1 rated university, they put a challenge, okay? They put a huge number of images like these ones. So you have to take these 2 images or a huge number of images, and you have to see which disease you have from these diseases. Okay? It's like a classification, it's a challenge. It's like a competition. So each one will build his own AI system, and from these images, we have to decide accurately which disease we have here. This is the percentage of the data that they will provide for us. Okay, so that's a kind of a challenge by Harvard University. It's everybody, they have another one for the heart even, diseases. Now, whatever I said earlier, this is what we call supervised learning. It means you know what's your output, okay? Now, unsupervised learning, it's an example of it is a DNA sequences. When you have you arrange the DNA and you analyze the DNA plan or the DNA genomes in the humans. So the problem is that we don't have an output in this case. But if I look to one of the diseases, I collected the genomes of all these people and tried to group them according to the similarity. And for each similar one, I assign a treatment. Now, guys, if you look to the COVID-19, we have 3 categories or 2 categories. It depends how you want to divide them. We have no symptoms, بدون أعراض. We have light symptoms, أعراض خفيفة. And we have severe symptoms, أعراض شديدة. Now, why people, so far, nobody answered this question. Why some people will get these symptoms differently? Okay, why? That's the question. So people start looking into the DNA sequence of different people. I'm sure someone is doing it right now. And they try to group them. If they do that, it means they can have an effective treatment for that one. Now, the question is that how can we group something like this? By eye, we cannot do it, okay? We cannot. The only thing is you need something called artificial intelligence, because the data is huge. The data is huge. So these are all examples where AI is involved in medicine. Now, let's go back and stop a little bit. AI is not the solution to everything. It has some limitations, as we're going to see now. The first thing is, whatever AI will identify is something static. It means it doesn't have any meaning. For us, when I say the neurodegenerative disease, when I implement it, it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, which disease 0 is like healthy, 1 is neurodegenerative. It does not give you any meaning, or it doesn't even specify the treatment for you. But it will help you. That when I say this is a cooperative work, it's not a competition work. Okay? It will tell you the correlation, but it will not tell you what caused this disease. So it's just like a simple thing. It is smart, but it's very limited intelligence. It looks like a common sense reasoning, but in general intelligence, domain knowledge and integration is important. Also, it lacks explainability. It means how you are going to explain what's happening with the disease. At the same time, guys, if we want to do an AI system, we have to collect as much data as we can. Okay? The other thing, guys, is I told you in the neurodegenerative disease, if I have a disease that is not listed with the 3 diseases I mentioned, what's going to happen? It will be an error. And who's going to take the responsibility of that error? That's a liability issue. That's a big question. Because there is the machine, someone sold you a machine, okay, and the machine made a wrong decision. Who's going to take the responsibility for this wrong decision? Is it the doctor, or it is the company who made the AI system? I'm sure the company, they cannot do that because they are not responsible for it. Because this is the system. It's whether you like it or not. If you buy it, you are responsible for it. Okay. Now, this is a general look about AI, a very general look. But the question is how this is going to make a revolution in healthcare. Now, the first thing, guys, I want to tell you something. We, as I already told you at the very beginning of this lecture, AI already exists. And the first AI system, it was called the IDX-DR, diabetic retinopathy. Now, people with diabetes, they have a problem with their retina. We have to keep continuously monitoring the retina because otherwise they will lose their vision. Now, we, in our department, with our collaborators in University of Louisville, and actually I'm talking from our lab together, the place where I sit right now on that lab, we developed such a system that will tell you which degree of retinopathy you have and what's the problem and how you can treat it. Now, a device was recently in 2019 released by the FDA. FDA is the Food and Drug Administration, who is responsible for approving these devices. The IDX, it uses artificial intelligence to tell you what degree of retinopathy you have. Okay, what degree of a problem that the patient have in his retina. Now, also, guys, I just took these screenshots from the net just a few minutes ago. And it says that FDA clears AI-powered algorithm for personal ECG monitoring. So if you go home, okay, do you see this device? You put your fingers here, okay, and it will show your ECG and it will make diagnosis for you if you have a problem. But let me tell you something, it's very clear and stated clearly. If you have a problem, you go to the hospital. The one who makes the decision is the physician, is the doctor. It's not the device. Because he has to analyze anything. But the device will work as, or the AI system will work as a consultant for him. It will give him or help him, guide him to what's wrong. Also, this will help to reduce time for diagnosis. Okay? Also, we have something called ultrasonics electrocardiography for the identification of coronary artery disease. Okay, we have an artery in the heart. It's called coronary artery. Okay, so it has an echo or ultrasound system that uses AI to identify. That's what this is last month. Okay, to implement it in with ultrasonic machine or echo machines. So AI is already there. There is no doubt about it. So now the question is that, and the big problem, and I can't talk about this one, is that the huge amount of data. And let me tell you something, a very scary information. Starting from 2000, actually 20, not 21. The studies suggest that every 73 days, the data will be doubled. Doubled, it means that, like if we have 1 giga, after 73 days, we have 2 giga, then we will have 4 giga, and so on. This is something growing exponentially. Now, if we collect this data, did we collect it correctly? Can we use this data? What we are going to do with the data? Now, as an example here, it is predicted, or the studies here says that, this is from European Healthcare, it says that the number of CT scans and MRI now, I have a sister who is a radiologist. She's the number of images and CT scan they see now after COVID-19 is huge, huge number. So they are super busy with diagnosis. Now imagine if you have an AI system that will tell you whether this patient has a COVID or not. The only thing is you need to do is you go and check. Does it make sense what the AI said? Yeah, it's correct. I agree with the AI, so we go and do it. Okay, that's an example of the huge data we are collecting, or everybody's collecting. Now, if we want to integrate an AI system into any clinical routine in any device or any machine, we have to think in 3 basic directions. First thing is, are we going to enhance the productivity and efficiency of that current healthcare system? The second thing is, are our diagnosis, is it precise more and accurate more? Okay, so we need to expand the precision medicine, the diagnosis and the treatment, and we have also to improve the diagnostic accuracy. Okay, so this is 3 basic directions that we need to take care of. As an example, this is how radiology system is. Now I know Siemens, for example, Healthineers or health systems. Now they have something, an AI system that they don't tell the hospital about it, and it's running on the background. So what means that they are already using technology. When you make an image, an X-ray image, they will use this image to collect accurate data about the best position that you can have for your scan range. For example, when you try to make a scan for your shoulder, for example, okay, and you are in the wrong position, the system will tell you you are in the wrong position. Go and adjust your position. So you will see a green sign. That's okay, the position is okay. So you tell it from the beginning that you want to make the left shoulder image, okay? And once the position is correct, it will tell you that's correct. That requires AI, okay? Now, I'm telling you, in the absence of AI, what's going to happen? You go to the X-ray machine, okay, and you start fixing with the position without anything telling you that the position is correct. You take your image and then you discover, oh, the image is not correct. Please go and do it again. So productivity is not correct, okay? It's a waste of resources, extra dose. Why? Because we did the X-ray twice, and so on. But the AI system gave me the best choice with the best position. So AI helped the productivity. We have more patients, less time, okay, and more accurate results. Now, also, if you want to go up even, once you take the image, you will have an AI system that will tell you what's wrong with this image. Okay, so this is call it assisted radiology. It means that you will say, okay, the system told me that this patient has pneumonia in his lungs. So I have to check it by my eyes. Yeah, it looks like pneumonia, so it's accurate. But that doesn't, you are, the physician is the decision maker. It's not the machine. It's not the AI system. AI is a consultant. It will save you time. It will tell you a lot of things without even look for it. It will give you all the information you need. The only thing is you need to make the decision whether this is correct or you want to do another examination. So AI, guys, it's not 100% accurate, but it's like very accurate. So from the previous discussion, what we can do is expanding the precision medicine. So it's more precise results. We are transforming care delivery, okay? And we are improving the patient experience. You don't have to repeat radiology examination. You just get the results immediately without a delay. Just like in sub-half second, you will get the results without the need to wait for. Now, normally, let me tell you how it works now, especially with if you are worried about the insurance. You have a problem with your shoulder. It happened to me. Problem with my shoulder. They gave me appointment like after 1 week for an image. I waited 2 days for the radiologist to do the report. Okay, then I went back. I have to pay the doctor again because it's more than 1 week now. And to see the report, and the report, so X-ray is not enough. So we have to go MRI again and so on. This is bad experience. But if you have an AI system, it will tell you exactly how you want to take the image based on the previous data that we collected from other patients. It means that, okay, you have a better experience. You have a better healthcare, okay? Now, the question is that, how can AI will change the medical profession? Do nurses, doctors have to worry because of this system? Because some people, they don't like it. They don't like automation because they want to keep their jobs. Okay. Now, to be honest, it is affecting the healthcare AI and positively. It means we have a better experience, we have a faster service, and more accurate diagnosis, because you should know that 20% of the healthcare diagnosis or the medical diagnosis is wrong, believe it or not. The percentage is 20%, which is quite a huge percent, a huge value. Okay, only 80% are accurate. So we need AI. But guys, at the end, it's the medical specialist who will make the decision and based on the assistance of the AI technology. That's very clear. Okay, so AI is valuable as a tool for solving clinical question, but it's not the final decision. AI will help resolve smaller issues like if they need information, if they want to process the image, if we want to improve it, and so on. The use of AI with the collected data can provide the clinician with the problem-solving scenarios. It means that you collect data. If this patient has a problem, it will give you what are the scenarios that we can help to treat the patient. I give you an example. We have something called radiotherapy. Radiotherapy is like if someone has cancer and you want to treat it with radiotherapy. It means technically you have to burn it, the tumor. So we have to have more than one scenarios. So AI will help you to choose what's the best scenario. And then it will leave it for you to decide you want to go for this scenario or you want to this scenario. Because AI will not recognize the organs because for it, it's numbers. For you, you can see what's going to happen. and think about it. So guys, evidently within the next few years, AI will require an interdisciplinary collaboration between the experts and the machine, the clinician and the machine. Okay. Now, the last part of this presentation, and it's our program in biomedical engineering at Abu Dhabi University. It's quite an excellent program. Okay, it will be soon apply for ABIC accreditation. We are waiting till our students reach the 4th year. So we need to reach the 4th year so that we can apply by accreditation. Definitely it's accredited by the ministry here. So it fulfills all the requirements for being international and nationally approved program. Okay, now let's tell you what's about the topics that we cover and we concentrate in this program. The first thing is biomedical instrumentation. Okay. Also, we have, when I say biomedical instrumentation, I'm talking about designing instruments starting from scratch. So we have many courses on this one. We have something called healthcare monitoring, biomedical computing, like image processing, DSP, and all these things. We have something called biomedical systems that you want or you will be exposed during your study, such as like medical imaging system, therapeutic systems, and all these things. Also, we have a huge concentration on artificial intelligence in medicine, and this is we know it because we know it's coming. Okay, it's coming. It's the future. AI will be involved in each and every aspect on the system. So if you look at a job, you look differently if you know AI and how they work on the machines. Okay, so it will add to the quality of our graduates. Also, we have therapeutic systems and devices. So technically, we cover a wide range of medical equipment. That's what we are trying to do and how they work. So we concentrate on biomedical equipment and biomedical systems. Okay, so in our program as well, we have something called biomedical equipment engineer, clinical engineer, biomedical design engineer, healthcare engineers, and biotechnology and bioengineering. This is all covered in our topics in our programs. Now, as an experience for you, what we have or what's the infrastructure we have in terms of experience, we have a biomedical instrumentation lab. Okay, it's with the state-of-the-art equipment. Currently, I'm sitting on the AI and machine learning lab. We have IoT lab, circuits and Internet of Things lab. We have mobile and security lab. We have networking. We have robotics lab. We have a huge lab or range of labs. Our student success is everywhere. Okay, we have many stories of success. Okay, we have showed our the quality of the work of our students, and in many occasions as think science conferences, doing work for Ministry of Interior, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed here. I was not here when they got this prize, but I know these students, they are now Samar and Yasmina, they are both doing their PhDs now. So probably if you, at a certain moment in time, they will teach you something if you are in biomedical engineering. These are two of my students. They won a prize in IEEE competition, for which held in IEEE is the highest, the biggest organization in the world for electrical, electronic, or biomedical engineers. So it's a long story and it's a long success story, and I'm sure someday you will hear about it. We have an IEEE student branch, so that will help our students go beyond the curriculum, share their activities, build their qualifications, build their careers, and get certified so that when they graduate, they have a reliable CV. Now, our faculty we already told you that we have currently running research, machine learning, that's me, biomedical signal processing, that's also me, and Dr. Ghazal as well. Thermal imaging, this is a project that I'm working on. Medical IoT, that is Dr. Ghazal and Dr. Ayman. Okay. And that's it. This is the story briefly about the AI. I totally understand there is a lot of technicalities behind it. But what's important is we want to see the future, where we are heading, and how we can adapt to a changing world. Thank you for listening, and let me know if you have any question. Any questions? Any question, guys? Any questions? Anything you want to know? Does AI affect long term? What do you mean by long term? Guys, AI is the future. Okay, it will be everywhere. The way I see it, okay, the way I see it is, yes, AI is affecting you now, and it's affecting us because everybody's collecting information. Everyone is collecting information. Even Google now know what type of food you like, because it will check your emails, it will check your chat, it will check your thing. Google knows where you 4 years ago at this time, right? So AI is there. It is affecting our life, and it will be affecting our health for the best. For the best, that's what I'm saying. For the best. Okay. Currently, we are working in OI and analyzing, like, can we from the lung sound decide whether the patient have a COVID or not, like with the regular stethoscope, because we know that we can collect data that we cannot even hear. So yes, the answer, it will affect our entire life, and but it is the future, guys. AI is one, to be honest, from according to my information, it is, in terms of engineering, the demand will be on AI. The huge demand on AI engineers, whether you are in the medical or in factory or anything. AI increase unemployment. It is beneficial for the society. Now, if you are in our department or if you are in engineering, you will be happy. It leaves more employment for you, maybe less employment for the others, okay? But this is how things are. Now, we are not worried about unemployment. We are worried about increasing the health services. That is the purpose of AI. Whether this will increase or decrease the unemployment, okay? Because unemployment can be affected too many things. So yeah, AI, it means more jobs for you guys. And that's what I need to worry about. My job, okay, maybe less than other field, but 5 or 10 years ago, civil engineers were ranked #1 now. Now they have a huge unemployment rate, okay? But now we have more AI rate going up. So this is how the life goes. I mean, nothing goes good forever. We know that. Yes, AI is beneficial for the society. Any other question? Any other thing? Let me ask you a question. If I tell you who's interested in AI, I mean, and why? That's the question. So can anybody tell me if he's interested in AI?
If anyone would like to answer, you can just press raise hand button and we will allow you to talk.
AI cannot replace human intelligence. Yes. I'm not saying it's going to replace. I'm going to make human intelligence better and faster and easier to handle. Okay? Because if I told you we collect a huge number of data, and if you go and look for this data yourself, you will not be able to interpret it or understand because you cannot do this entire work, while a machine can do it for you and help you think faster and more accurate, more precise. Guys, any question? Can an error comes in AI? Tanzil, yes. Definitely there is error in AI. And the big question remains is who's going to take responsibility for the error? Now here in the Eastern culture, I was in the US. If someone dies in the hospital, the first thing is not how we bury him. The first thing is who are going to sue, who are going to take to court because he died. Because he died because of some kind of, for them, it's some kind of error. They say, for us, it's alhamdulillah, يعني قدر الله وما شاء فعل, but you know, it's different thing. So errors happen. In AI, the decision is not to the machine. Let me just repeat it. The final decision, the final diagnosis, the final treatment, it's not by the machine. Okay? It's for the doctor. AI is a support thing. It's not the main thing. Okay? Because AI will do things that was told to do so. But if something new happened, okay, let's say 2 years ago, we didn't have COVID-19. So if you have an AI system, it will not recognize COVID-19. Now we have COVID-19, so we have to readjust the AI system so that it recognizes something called COVID-19. Even if you have the diagnosis on the electronic record system, okay, because they will diagnose you and the doctor will write a report, okay, he doesn't have this word before. Because the insurance will ask him what was the diagnosis from a list of things. Okay, so yes, AI makes errors, but these errors is very rare. And to be honest, it's less than human errors. Okay, less than human errors. Human errors in hospitals are around 20% in the US, I'm not saying here. Okay, but definitely there are errors. I think someone has a question, raise his hand. I don't know who's. Omar, are you with us?
Yes, doctor. Okay, I'll just allow you.
I think Marco.
Yeah, Marco, you can talk actually. You can talk.
All right, thank you, Omar. Thank you for the awesome presentation on AI and its implication on medicine. There's like an echo. Is that me or? All right, thank you. So actually, AI is not only useful in the area of medicine, but also in education and other aspects of life. But my question is, how is it, can it also be used in telemedicine? Supposing somebody in, say, Mumbai or somebody in, say, Mogadishu or Cape Town, or for the matter here in the US, in the South, if they don't have that expertise, can somebody use AI as a way to facilitate a complex operation from miles away using AI?
Yeah, that's Marco, that's an excellent question because it shows another dimension of AI. Like we can use it in remote areas where we don't have access to, let's say, healthcare facilities. So we can do things remotely and we can do it by AI. Now, yes, we can do it we can apply it along with medicine. But the big question remains the liability associated with the service. Everybody knows there is a liability. Okay, what happens, again, the question is what happens if something is wrong with the AI system? Is the insurance going to cover it? Okay, so if the AI system tell you like you want to take this medication, the insurance will help you to pay for it. For example, I'm not just, because we have to take all scenarios. But to the basic question, yes, it can be used and it can be helped as a guidance tool. Let me tell you, a guidance tool, not as a complete diagnostic tool, AI. And the question and the big question is that maybe you can use it for basic, like if you have a fever or like if an image or if you doesn't look good and so on. And most importantly, AI is like a predictive model. We predict more than we diagnose. Okay, so that's the use of AI. But to the basic question, yes, it can be used remotely on areas where health services are not provided. So it will help you if you have a problem. It will recommend you to go and drive a long distance, for example, to get for a reliable health service.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Marco. Any other question? Maybe we have a room for one more question. Okay, guys, an advice for you if you are, I think most of you are still at the beginning of their careers or their academic lives. And if you are engineers, AI will be deployed everywhere. It's coming. It's already there. For us in biomedical engineering, it's already there. We have the proof, we saw it, we even use it. This is beyond now whether we are going to use it or not, whether it's beneficial or not. We are beyond this question. So guys, any biomedical or any medical system or any medical engineering, it should incorporate the AI systems. Without that, there is something missing. That is my advice for you guys. And thank you all for being here. Okay. And let me just type for you my email that in case you, I'll just type it here in case you needed anything like any information or if you are interested. This is my email at adu.ac.ae. Okay, so you can read it now. If you need any information, you can reach me on this email. Okay. If you need any help, if you are interested in AI, let me know because currently we are running a lot of research on this topic and probably we need people to get involved at a certain point. And I'm sure if you work with AI, definitely this is where the future is expected to be in terms of, let's say, our field. I'm not talking about any other field. Okay. Thank you, guys. Omar,
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor, for the valuable information.
Thank you. Omar, do you need anything else or that's it?
That's it. I think we can end webinar today. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
attending.
our attendees. It was really pleasure to be with you, and inshallah we'll see you on maybe another topic. Okay, if you need information, you can contact me or Omar. This is my email. I wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Stay safe, and inshallah you get benefit from this lecture.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.